Hi, Lisa McBurney Inc. here. So I'm old. I'll be 55 in September. And, I've had so much fear in my life that I have adrenaline running through my system probably at such a rate that I don't know, the acid is burning away at my muscles. I have no idea, but I'm in agony most of the time. So when I was locked up in the Homewood Health Center, where they forcefully injected me in the hips with four security guards and nurses holding me down, I think they might have broken my neck and bruised my spine, and it was a shit show from a hospital that claims to be experts in mental health. Anyway, so I'm in a lot of pain, and yesterday I'm trying to build community in my neighborhood because my building has left gardens empty, just full of random shit for years. Instead of sodding it over, I spent a week on my knees cleaning the moss off the kids' play area, and then they rolled up the astroturf, and then they deemed it unfit to play in, and like it's just a shit show. So I was trying to do some gardening yesterday that I'm not allowed to do, and will probably get a notice under my door that I'm going to be evicted if I keep planting flowers. So anyway, I'm sore. I spent about 2 hours doing that yesterday, and then I tried to climb the sign because I'm 54 and stupid, and anyway, so I'm sore. So in Homewood, I invented this kind of tongue-in-cheek yoga ease, which is basically, in my definition, chase the pain. So what I do, and I'll demonstrate right now. I'm sore through here, probably from doing this while I was gardening. Right? You can see that this is the bending spot. I'm sore here. So what yoga ease is basically if I'm sore here, I twist so I can feel that twist right on this side here, right here. So that's a good twist. And I hold it, right? And then I shake it a bit, right? And then you do the same on the other side because, chances are if you can feel that on one side, you can feel it the other. So I bounce a little bit and I keep my hips straight. Like I don't bend them, keep them straight, twist my back right where I can feel it, right there, right? And I can tell that feels good. And then I come up with another exercise that feels the same. So now that I've done that, I can feel pain here. And so, right now I can feel that stretch here, and I can feel it here, and I can feel it here. So, I'm doing that. Ow, ow. All right. We'll do that for a bit. We'll do it symmetrically. I can feel that here, right in here, and I can feel it a bit in my hip, and I can feel it through here. So, you know, ow, ow, ow. All right. And I heard something crack that maybe shouldn't have cracked. Um, and right here is still painful. So I'm going to do one of these because that's where I can feel it, right? And I'm going to hold it. Ouch, ouch. I don't know if you ever saw that episode of Three's Company where Jack, there's Jack and Cindy and what was the other chick's name? Suzanne Summers. Anyway, he decides he wants to impress this woman that he's dating, and he goes to the gym with her, and he works out for like 10 hours with her. The next day he can't move, right? He comes walking out of the bedroom like, oh my God. And she comes over and she goes, you know what the solution is for sore muscles? Exercise. And she bends him forward forcefully to touch his toes. And so I think of that every time I'm in pain and I decide to exercise through it. Because I guess that's really the only solution for sore muscles. Because if you sit too long, when you get to be my age, you stiffen up. And, the only way really to get through life is just keep moving. So yeah, I can feel that through here, I feel it through here. And my hips are stable, so I don't have any special equipment. I don't even have a yoga mat. But this is what I call yoga ease. And I also did a lot of shaking. I found that by shaking, I think there's a lot of trauma stored and memories stored and grief stored in the spine. And basically, the muscle and mostly the bones, right? So if I could, I would just start to crack, not but noticeably things would start to crack. And I found that, once in a while it would release a memory. And instead of spending like 4 years in trauma therapy, I would cry over it for, 20 minutes tops, and then I'd move on with my day. So it's a much more gradual way to go through trauma recovery. Um, Especially if you don't have a ton of money or you don't want to, you know, rip a new one into all your relatives and friends for not being there for you. That's a really good exercise for right there. I can feel that. I can feel that right through there, especially on this side, because I destroyed my patio door. Like I broke the glass in it with an altercation with the police. We ended up on the balcony for 5 hours, and they claimed it was a suicide attempt, and really it was a protest. Anyway, they locked me up for 2 months in Homewood for that, and they forcibly injected me. So I started screaming death threats, and they locked me up in Vanier, the prison for women, for another 3 months. And then they let me out on bail, and then they eventually withdrew all the charges. Anyway, it's just been a shit show. So, what was my point? What's my point? I don't know. Anyway, the I can actually get my chest bones to crack now, like not on demand, but they crack now. And I would find that after I got out of jail in Homewood, um, uh, I was cracking quite often. So right now I'll show you. I'm bending my knee and twisting, right? And the idea here is, if you feel pain that you go, oh no, stop. Like, don't ignore that sign. Like, that's what bugs me about people is they feel the pain and they go, oh, it'll be okay. I'm like, no, it won't be okay. There's a good type of tension when you stretch, that you're like, oh, that feels better, and you're stretching and it'll do you good. So, but at the end of the day, you know, your body is your temple, just like the Bible says. And if you treat it like shit, you're gonna operate like shit, and your family's gonna feel it because it's gonna come out somewhere. So, so give it a good shake. And this is yoga ease. So let's say, for example, I also have pain here. When you're bending, you also get pain here. So I'll move back. So I press in here, and then I twist or bend until I feel it where my finger is. And you just keep moving until I feel it, right? So, this, not that, putting the hip in and the boil works, this works, standing on my toe and bending my knee. That works for right here. Yeah. So yeah, it's called Chase the Pain. So I usually do that until the pain's gone, but I've been known to do it for up to 4 hours if I have the time, just chasing the pain. Because now I can feel the pain in here from bending over like this, right? So, then you start to do that for, just shake it. What's that? Shake it off by Taylor Swift, and usually half an hour after I stop doing this, I notice I'm not in pain anymore. And it doesn't happen while I'm exercising, but I usually notice it like an hour after I stop. But yeah, if you have the time, like, what else are you doing? Are you sitting in front of the TV? Are you watching me on YouTube? Like, get off of fucking YouTube. Go do something. Cheers.